Welcome to WEFTEC Now. I'm Travis Loop from the Water Environment Federation. Very happy to be joined by Rob Gledhill, CEO of Blue White Industries. We've had several of these conversations at WEFTEC. Good to talk to you again this year.
Great to talk to you again too, Travis.
Yeah, so since the past year we've had the coronavirus pandemic. Obviously, it's impacted so many aspects of our life and of our work. One area it's impacted is supply chains, especially for companies like yours. Could you talk about that and what the impacts have been of the pandemic on the supply chain for a company like Blue White?
Yeah, certainly. Good question. It's a hot topic nowadays. You know, this pandemic, last year, it came to where, not only companies were shutting down, cities, it was countries. It was the whole world was shutting down for months and not making products, right? Not making goods that so many industries rely on. And so that didn't really catch up to us until recently. And then demand started picking back up, and for a while that was fine with inventory. But then the inventory was running out, so more orders were coming in. These companies that were shut down, perhaps laid off some of their team members, which we didn't, but I know a lot did. They weren't able to staff up and keep up with the demand. And so I have a quick little story. Blue White is based out of Huntington Beach, and that's a big port. We're right next to a big port, port of Long Beach. And so all we have to do is head over to the beach, and we could see all the big container ships waiting outside of the port of Long Beach. And it's amazing. I was there about a month ago running the Surf City Marathon, and I was killing time. I decided to count these container ships. There were 44 of them at that time.
Wow.
Just sitting there, anchored, waiting to get in. And I thought of all the goods they were holding. But now today, there's over 70 container ships waiting to get into that port. And that has a major effect on our supplies. And that's the reason there's so many shortages. And so it's playing a major impact on our industry, water and wastewater manufacturers. Yeah, equipment manufacturers. It's been a challenge.
Yeah. How have you managed? How have you adapted? How has it changed things for you? And I know you talk to your peers. What other things are people doing to adapt for this?
Right. So as a manufacturer for equipment in the water and wastewater industry, we have to keep up with our customer demands. They have a water treatment plant that's coming online, and they need chemical metering pumps. And so there's this quote, I forget who made this quote, but necessity is the mother of invention, right? And so that is so true nowadays because, when we're working with our suppliers and buying components that are critical for the equipment we manufacture, you're used to getting parts in 3 weeks, and now you're hearing it's going to take 6 months or longer to get a part. And so I have a quick story. We have these bobbins that are used in our motors, and we wrap copper coil around these bobbins. Well, we're used to getting these bobbins monthly, right, shipments. They meet our schedule just perfectly. Well, now we found out that they're, made overseas and they're being transported by cargo ship, and they're out in the port of Long Beach, and we're getting quoted, or they're telling us the ETA is roughly 5 months.
Wow.
Right?
Meanwhile, they're sitting right offshore, and you can see them out there.
Yes, I could see them. I wish I could swim out there and search for them and grab them. So this has held up production. So what we did is we decided to make our own bobbins, make our own tooling, and run our own parts internally. So now it's actually given us an opportunity to become more vertical, control that schedule, and have the parts ready to put in our products to ship to our customers.
Yeah,
because they need them.
Well, speaking of customers, this disruption in the supply chain, how has that? How have you had to manage their expectations, maybe, or work with your customers differently because of this situation?
Yeah, well, it's had it's been a challenge. I mean, every day there's something new, and you're working through some other challenge, and you've got to be super creative. And I will tell you that I did have a customer call me, actually a channel partner, and there was a plant that was scheduled to go online, a brand new plant, but the only thing they were missing were 10 pumps, right? And called me and told me that the contractor was going to be getting fined the longer he missed his target for his completion date. So anyway, we were feeling the pressure. I really wanted to help our customer out, so I went out to the shop, had a few meetings. We're really trying to figure this out, right, to get these products out. And then I hear that we just got a big shipment of circuit boards that same day at our shipping in our shipping plant or shipping department. And so I was able to call the customer, told him we're going to ship your pumps tomorrow. It made him so happy, and I was happy that we were able to make that happen. And it was just, I mean, this is just one example of what's happening on a daily basis. I believe in with all the manufacturers in this industry.
Yeah. When it comes to new products, or developing new products, manufacturing new products, launching new products, how has the supply chain situation impacted that process?
Yeah, so it's been somewhat challenging, but we're getting through it. For us, it hasn't. Well, I guess there was one challenge. We had this leak detector that was in some of our newer products because we're adding automation to our products to increase efficiency, productivity of these plants. And this sensor, which used to cost $5 and take like a week to get in to our facility, is now $50 and takes, I don't know, months to receive. So we decided to make our own sensor, leak detection sensor, and we made it better.
Wow.
And so I think that you just really have to get creative during these times to still continue to launch new products so that the utilities, water, wastewater, can have the benefits of the new technologies in their plants. And it's just about being creative.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the cost. That's not just the time with the supply chain delay too. Right now, the price of things are going up because of these issues.
Right. And as manufacturers, yes, and eventually that's going to have to get passed down, I'm sure. That's why it's important to do what we're doing to really drop that price.
So, you mentioned becoming more vertical. You mentioned making some of these parts yourselves. Do you think those will become permanent changes for you? Do you think there's other permanent changes you could see coming out of this whole supply chain crunch? That ways you've adapted that you're like, what, that works for us. We're going to keep doing that.
Absolutely. I would love it to be possible to make every single component and raw material that goes into our products, but it's not possible. But boy, we could sure get as close to doing that as we can. So I think that the industry is going to have to pivot there, manufacturers in this industry, and also look for getting your suppliers closer to you because there's added costs and time in the movement of goods. And so it's either ideal to make it yourself or find that supplier closest to you nowadays. Yes.
Yeah, very interesting. What are you hearing about when this supply chain delay, this whole backlog might smooth out and get back to, quote, normal?
Right. That's a very good question.
That could be a tough question.
If I knew the right answer to that, I could make a lot of money. But okay. And I do research this all the time, Travis.
Sure.
I follow it all. And from what I hear, it's going to be about mid-2022. I mean, hopefully it's sooner. I think companies are just really, stocking up on excess inventory, which adds costs to the manufacturers, and they're doing whatever they can until then. But yeah, 2022 is what I hear, mid-year.
You mentioned that before when we had talked about the added cost of having to have inventory. Could you explain how that works for folks that might not understand that?
Right. I mean, I could make it relatable to the toilet paper challenge that everybody was facing, a year ago, right? Whenever people saw toilet paper, they would buy all they can, and they were limiting that supply finally that you could purchase. Same thing's happening with these components. Once they're readily available, these chips or it could be even a raw material like a plastic pellets for injection molding, companies are buying all these up. And so that they can ship products, But the problem is it's driving that shortage. It's making it even worse. But yeah, so our inventory is up 30% right now, maybe a little more than that, because we have to do something similar. Otherwise, somebody else is going to buy the products right from under us.
But that's cash of yours that's sitting on the shelf then, right?
And that's very important for a manufacturer, yeah. The more inventory you have on the shelves, the less cash you have on the bank. I mean, that's might as well just be cash sitting on your shelves.
Right.
So you want to turn that over very quickly. Yeah, and it really takes its toll on your cash being a manufacturing company. Yeah, having that much more inventory.
Well, I know despite these challenges with the supply chain, you all have still been able to forge on. And I think when it comes to this show here at WEFTEC, you've got some new exciting announcements, some new product you're launching. Could you talk about that?
We do. Even with these crazy different times that we're all adapting to, we have been able to launch 2 new products. They're here at WEFTEC at our booth. We have a new M3 peristaltic metering pump, and then we have a new M4 peristaltic metering pump. It's a little bit larger than the 3. And these are fantastic pumps for pumping chemicals into water, wastewater, whether it's sodium hypochlorite into water or polymers into wastewater. There's a number of different applications for these pumps, but they're the most accurate pumps in the world, the technology. And they have so many great new features, technological features, new technology to really save the operator, the plant time. The remote capabilities are tremendous because so many people want to work remotely nowadays. We know that, and that's why we're delivering these products. And ultimately, I believe it'll save the utilities. It'll increase their efficiency and productivity.
Fantastic.
Definitely.
Well, congratulations on pushing through the challenges and getting new products out there. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and by the way, they're shipping today, so we were able to avoid this shortage challenge with these new products. But thank you.
Fantastic. Good deal. Rob, it's fantastic to talk to you. I look forward to it. I hope WEFTEC's a great success for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I am optimistic about the near future, so this is great.
Good.
Great talking to you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you all for watching.